Hi, I'm Katie from Whatever Katie Sews. And if you'd like to know what I've been making this summer and why you haven't seen any blogs from me for quite a long time, then grab a cuppa and stick around. So, as with all great plans, I was hoping to be blogging pretty much once a week when I started my channel, and I was doing that pretty successfully. However, over the last few months, as you'll see, my blogs have really dwindled, and life really has just got in the way. I was lucky enough to go on a road trip in the UK, and then I also went abroad, and so that took up quite a lot of our time. And then just getting the kids back to school and getting into kind of our new routine. My sewing has really taken a back seat at the moment. And also couple that with a project which pretty much took me the whole of September. I haven't really felt like I've had a huge amount to come on here and talk about. However, I thought I would get up to date today, show you what I've been making, and actually looking back at what I had made, I was pretty prolific at the start of July, so I do have quite a lot to show you from then, and I will just show you what I've been making for the rest of the time as well. Also, something just to add before I get going, I don't know if you guys do it, but I actually keep a journal of all of what I've been making, and I started that this year because I was struggling to actually keep track of what I had made, and I just really wanted to have a record of it. And that was really one of the reasons as well why I started this channel, that I wanted to have a record of what I was doing, any new skills I was gaining, and also whilst when I do a pattern I will write notes on the pattern to remind myself things to remember for next time, like change the size, or cut an extra bit off the bottom, or whatever it is. I felt that actually if I wrote it all down, that would keep a better record, and that is how today I am here remembering exactly what I have made, because I've literally just gone back in my journal and yeah, started from the beginning of July even. So at the beginning of July, the first thing I made was a present for my next door neighbours. So we've got new neighbours, and within a few weeks of them moving in, they had a new baby. So I made them two pairs of little leggings, my Hala leggings, the kids pattern, which I absolutely love. I've spoken on here about that pattern before. It is a free pattern. I think if you sign up, was either maybe to their Facebook group, I think it was, and you get a code to have the pattern for free. And I have used it loads, and I have made it for baby clothes before, and I do the size 3 to 6 months, just so the babies have time to grow into them, because I find people generally have a lot of the newborn and the 0 to 3 months, so I generally make 3 to 6 months. And also that's a really nice size if you've got any scraps of fabric left. So actually I made it with fabric that I had made my girls some dresses out of, and I think I'd also made some shorts and various other things out of them as well. So that is an absolutely great pattern, and I will insert pictures obviously because I don't have them anymore. I gave them to my neighbours. And I also more recently used that pattern again to make my daughter some leggings for rainbows. So for you guys who might not know, rainbows is what girls go to before they start brownies. So from ages 5 to 7 they go to rainbows, and they wear this lovely red uniform. And the the trousers in our rainbows isn't actually compulsory. They just have to have the t-shirt and the hoodie, but they do red leggings with, I think it says rainbows on the side, but they're really expensive, so I thought that I could just whip up a pair of leggings. I think I paid £4 a metre for the fabric. I think I used less than half a metre probably for these, and that fabric is just a jersey, and I bought it from a shop near me in London called Jersey Vogue, which is a fabric store of everything you can possibly imagine. I could probably spend hours in there, and I have to be very careful just to go in and buy exactly what I need, which isn't the easiest thing to do. The next thing I made was something I think I'd actually put in my plans. It's an Ellie and Mac trendsetter skirt, and I will insert pictures because it's quite hard to see here in my wardrobe, but it's quite an interesting fabric. And the trendsetter skirt is obviously just a normal skirt pattern, but I wanted to make it as a swimming cover up because we were going abroad, and I made it out of this really interesting mesh fabric. And this was one of the fabrics that I actually bought at the Birmingham rag market, and I've got a video up about that. And I just thought it would be really good for that. Now, the first time I made this, I made it in an extra large, which seemed to fit my measurements. I shortened the front of it by about 4 inches because I wanted it above the knee, and I still found that it was quite big. Um, and as a consequence of it being slightly too big, and actually also the material being a little bit too warm, I didn't really wear it much on holiday. But I had also made another one, and in a much lighter material, and I pretty much wore this non-stop the whole time we were away. And again, this fabric was from the Birmingham rag market, and you can see through it, which is cool. But obviously, as a pool cover up, it worked really, really well. And I made this one in the size large, and again, I took 4 inches off the bottom at the front, and that worked really well. This was an amazing pattern. I think I bought it on one of Ellie and Mac's wacky sales for $1. So every Wednesday they put up a few of their patterns for $1, and I usually pick up a few. And that was one of them, and it was just such an easy sew. I think I had the whole thing done within an hour, even the first time I made it. So I can thoroughly recommend that as a quick and easy pattern. And I think it would look great as a skirt out. I would just be cautious that around the hips there's quite a lot of material, and if you don't want it to look kind of make your hips bigger, I think maybe go down a size to try and make sure that it skims your hips more rather than kind of the material gathering. But other than that, it is a fantastic pattern. I think I also spoke in my plans about making the Love Notions classic tee for my daughter, and I did manage to make up one of these, which is absolutely great. I made a size 8, which seems to fit her fine. She will be 8 at the end of the year, so and she is quite tall, so I think it probably comes up pretty true to size. I really like the pattern. It came together incredibly quickly. Anyone who's made any sort of jersey t-shirt before will probably not even need to look at the instructions. It was all pretty straightforward. The only thing I would say, and this is the same on lots of my makes, and I'd appreciate some advice on this actually, is that whether I use a cover stitch machine or I just zigzag at the bottom, I do find that the hems turn, and even if I press them, and obviously I press them when I make them, and I press them, once they've been washed, I do find that they keep turning, which is really annoying and showing the underside. So if anyone has got any tips on how to avoid that, that would be great, because it drives me mad. But again, would definitely be using this pattern in the future. And I made the neckband just with the same material. I didn't use any ribbing or whatever. I just made my own binding for it. And that is part of the pattern as well, which is great. Also, going back, obviously thinking about summer, you can see I'm all wrapped up warm now because the weather has changed. I made some shorts for my daughter. I do have a whole video on these. These are the Anne Lane triple playtime shorts, and they put them around the right way. I ended up actually making 3 pairs of these. I've got 2 of them here to show you. This material you'll have seen before. I bought it at the Knitting and Stitching show last year. or it might have actually even been in March. I can't remember. This year's a very strange year. And this was just an offcut of material I've had for years, and I can't even remember where I got it from. So those shorts are great. I won't talk any more detail about that because I've done a whole video on them. So if you're interested in those, please take a look at that. What might be interesting from that was that one of my lovely subscribers, Lynn, had actually commented saying, did you know that there is a pattern for adults that is really similar to that, called the Pearl Soho City shorts, and it is a free pattern. So I looked that up and I actually made a test version of these. So here they are, and I will try and insert a picture as well. I made them to my size, to the measurements, but I did actually add 2.5 inches to the length because I didn't want them so short. They came up pretty true to size. They were a quick and easy make, and actually because I'd made the Anne Lane ones, they were very, very similar. I have, as you can see, made these in a woven material, and actually this material, I was gifted it by someone in our village who was giving away a whole load of material, and so I just thought it would be a great one to try this out. I didn't have a huge amount of woven material. You can obviously make these shorts in a jersey, and they look like a running short, but I didn't have any sort of particular running material that I thought would be suitable to make them. I would definitely make these again. I need to think about the elastic in them. I think I need to sew down the elastic. I think I've sewed it down in kind of 4 places, but some of it is still turning in there, so I think I probably need to sew that down a little bit more with my next pair. But generally that was really great, and thank you for the recommendation. It's so nice to not only be recommended a pattern, but also to be recommended a free pattern, so that was absolutely fantastic. So I'm coming nearly to the end of my summer makes, and one of the things, again, I think I put in my plans video, was the Ellie & Mac Forever Flounce tee, and again I bought this as a wacky pattern for $1, and here it is. And I used a fabric, a 2-sided fabric, which I thought would be really nice for the flounce. And as you can see, it's a really nice quality jersey that I bought from Colville Fabrics, and I think hopefully you can see that, and it came together really easily. It was a little bit of a jigsaw puzzle to work this bit out, but I ended up just putting it on the floor and taking my time and not rushing, because that's how I usually put things on back to front. So it's such a lovely pattern. I definitely intend to make more. I would size down. I made the extra large as per my measurements, but actually by the time I'd adjusted it and shortened it, I should have made the large. I probably, even with the large, would need to shorten it as well. I intend to do that again. I had intended to make more of them. I just haven't. I would probably make this in a thicker jersey like this one. I think probably a thin jersey, you might not get the kind of flounce looking quite as nice. I think you'd see a lot of the back of it, so that's just something to bear in mind. So I'm pleased that I did make it in that thicker jersey. Next I have a non dress, non-clothing item. I made 8 of these little tissue holders as presents for my kids' teachers at school at the end of term. So you can see here that you put a little pack of tissues in there, and they are great. Now, I made these a long time ago. They were one of the first things I made. I followed a YouTube tutorial. If I can find the tutorial, I will link it below. And I remember I didn't really have many of the tools. I know I definitely didn't have a rotary cutter or a mat, which is my favourite way to cut things accurately now, and I didn't have a quilting ruler, and I made some of these for my family, and they were pretty much all wonky, but I was very pleased that I made them, and they do all still use them even though they are slightly wonky. But I am pleased to say that my sewing journey has come on in the last few years, and I think I pretty much made a full batch of non-wonky tissue holders, and yeah, they're just super useful when you're going out with a small handbag and you don't want to take a full bag of tissues. It's just nice to be able to take a few as well. So I think they're really useful, and I need to make myself another one as well. So probably everything I showed you there pretty much was made in July, and maybe with a few things at the beginning of August. So what have I basically been up to in September since we've been back? And I don't know. I couldn't get back into sewing. I find that time of year quite difficult because you don't want to make summer stuff because it's the end of summer, but then you're not quite ready for your winter wardrobe. And I just felt like doing a really slow and steady project. And which is totally unlike me because normally I like to do quick things, get them up on Instagram, get wearing it the next day. So I don't know what came over me, to be honest, but I have had a Vogue pattern in my stash, I think probably since the beginning of the year, maybe even further back. And I just thought, do you know what? Now is the time to sit and do this, and yeah, and take my time with it. I'm just going to read here. It's the Paco Peralta Barcelona, and it's the Vogue 1593. And I actually think I'm going to do a whole video about it, because it took nearly a month of my life, so I think it deserves its full video. I can show it to you here now, but I will also show a picture of it on. And I'm just really, really, really pleased with this dress. It's the first time I've made a fully lined dress. It's the first time I've made two tests before, making up the real thing, so that I could get the fit right. And I will go on and talk about this in another video. But hopefully for now, I think this video is long enough. So hopefully you've enjoyed it. Thank you to all my new subscribers who have subscribed, even though I haven't posted anything for quite a while. I do hope to be making more things and to be posting more about them. And I do obviously hope to do a blog about this dress as well. And yeah, so if you like this, please like, subscribe, tell your friends to subscribe and share the video. And I will see you next time. Thank you.